This is the most expensive piece of paper I have ever bought. Was it worth it? Let's talk about it.
Hello, my name is Stephen Malin and I'm a music composer, educator and arranger, helping you to elevate your story. No, I am not British. Let's move on. One of the questions I get quite a bit from young composers is this idea of education. Everybody wants to know, does going to college, getting that higher education, does that have a direct impact on your success in the entertainment industry writing custom music? Now, this is a loaded question and probably not even the best question to ask, but I'll give it my best shot. The idea behind this is education always matters, but does formal education, academia, does that actually impact the results we get when we jump into the entertainment industry? And the answer, unfortunately, is maybe. So you really have to take a look at it from a financial perspective. And the best way to do that is to look at the cost of the degree, to look at the income you're going to make after you get that degree, and how long it actually takes you to get a return on that investment. So if you go to a 4-year school and you pay $5,000 to get a degree in music composition, and it's an in-state school, so it's affordable. You can work your way through the program. You can pay for it yourself with cash out of pocket. When you leave that program, you have no debt. And so what this means is you can start making a living as a composer writing pretty cheaply. You don't have a lot of expenses because you don't have a lot to pay off. So what that means is you can actually charge way less than your competition. Not that you should necessarily devalue yourself and charge less than you're worth, but it puts less of a pressure on you to actually have to make as much money. In this case, going to school was a really good idea because it gave you the skill set and it gave you the knowledge and the experience to actually go out into the marketplace and to actually make a living, and you didn't incur any debt. And in the process, you now are being profitable in the marketplace. Now let's compare that to someone who goes to a really expensive, out-of-state, private art school where you pay $100,000, $200,000 to get your degree in music composition or media composition, whatever the case might be. Now, you might have a really in-depth program that teaches you the nitty-gritty and it connects you with people. So ultimately, the only way that we can compare these two is to look at the end result. Now, from this program, let's fast forward maybe 5 years down the road. What did these connections lead to? Did they lead to assistantships or internships that were dead ends? Or did they lead to working with really high caliber, experienced people that taught you experiences and gave you experiences and skill sets that you couldn't get otherwise, and now you're making tenfold of your investment? Now that would be a very great scenario, but unfortunately, in most cases, people pay way too much for a degree that does not sustain them directly after graduating. And it usually takes 10, maybe even 20 years to pay off from student loans or to actually make back what they invested. Now let's compare that to someone who doesn't go to school. It is truly incredible how much education material is online today. So much so that you have no excuse not to know how to be successful writing for film, TV, and video games. There's so much material on it now between Udemy, YouTube, Lynda, and any number of resources out there today. So the obvious con to going to an expensive school and not having a direct impact right after graduating is that you now have an enormous amount of money to pay off, but you don't necessarily have the income to knock it out. And so most people find themselves in that situation and they have a really rough road ahead because they have to get really creative about how they can actually start to be affordable. So unfortunately, that often means that the music composition has to take a back seat while doing a day job that you don't want to do. So that is definitely not a great situation to be in. Now, I will say, as someone who has 2 degrees in music, that both college experiences, while vastly different, were hugely impactful on my musical growth and my personal growth. So it's really hard to put a monetary value on the things that I learned and the experiences I had, specifically with being in large ensembles like orchestras, percussion, and learning the composition for those ensembles and learning the ins and outs of music theory and working with other musicians, working with filmmakers, working with in my 2nd degree program at Columbia College Chicago, getting the opportunity to work with the Chicago Symphony and with the Los Angeles Philharmonic, getting to actually move out to LA and to have internships. Now, those were incredible experiences that I got to have that I wouldn't have otherwise if I hadn't gone to school, I hadn't gotten that formal education. So you just got to balance it for yourself. You have to decide, okay, am I going to get a return on my investment? And if I'm not immediately, am I willing to take on the risk factor of being able to make enough money after graduation to balance out any amount of payments that you have to make? So it's a tough call. And I'm not saying that any one of those routes is a bad route or any of them is a good route, because your situation is completely unique. And so that's why this question is loaded and it's hard to answer, because there are multiple right answers here. But ultimately, I think the best decision for you is going to be one that keeps you out of the weight and the responsibility of having to make a certain amount as you grow your business. Anytime that you can go into a business debt-free, anytime that you can go in without having to reach a certain goal every single month of income, it makes the growing process way less stressful, and it takes that burden off and actually makes it a lot more fun to grow because you're not worried about the numbers. So if I could encourage anyone to make a decision that helps you get into that place, that is where you want to be. If this video was helpful for you, hit that thumbs up and smash that subscribe button. Help me get to 50,000 subscribers in 2018. We can do it. Also, perhaps you're someone who hasn't pursued formal education and you need some training. You need to have some coaching into what the process is of how to compose effectively, how to produce effectively, how to tell stories through music so that you can elevate the stories of film, TV, and video game projects. I actually have a couple courses on Udemy. The links are in the description below, and you get 90% off my 2 courses that will teach you exactly that. Thousands of people have taken those courses and have had really great feedback. It's been a really cool experience making those. I actually have several more courses on the way. I'm super passionate about helping younger composers learn these trades so that they can go out and they can make an impact in the world with their own craft. What music business topics are you most interested in? Comment below and let me know. That will actually help me create exactly the content you're most interested in. Let me know. And I'll see you guys next Wednesday for another music business video.